When you get home from prison, how did it feel?
How did it feel? Which time? First time?
The first time?
Felt like, damn, man, I gotta get a fucking job. What the fuck am I gonna do, you know? That's how I felt. Because that gang life shit was already outdated. My whole crew got arrested, man, a few years after I got locked up. So most of my crew was wiped out. So when I came home, there was nobody there. Gang life is over, which I'm glad it was, you know? Now I'm glad it was. But just because there's no gangs running rampant doesn't mean that some of my old friends were still not in the streets or whatever, you know? So I still had the mentality that I was banging even though I wasn't, you know? So my mentality was still overly aggressive. I was still on go time, you know? Because I didn't take no programs in there. The whole 18 years, I didn't go to school. I didn't take no programs. I gave them every reason to extend my stay, you know? So I didn't really learn nothing, you know?
And that's another thing, right? Like, why during that time you didn't want to take any vocational classes, or you didn't get into religion, you didn't do anything to like make a major change that a lot of people do?
Because my goal in life was to be a gangster. It wasn't to be a plumber or a minister. So why pursue a vocation? Why pursue religion? That's not my future. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to be, I wanted to be Scarface. I wanted to be like the Godfather. You know what I'm saying? So why do I need to fix an engine? Why, why do I need to learn to control my attitude? I think I'm perfect. I didn't think there was anything wrong with me. So why should I do this? I don't need a college degree. I don't need education to run a gang. That was my mindset. So school,
The
no.
whole time you're locked up, you're not thinking like, "Hey, when I get out, I'm gonna have
But
to
they
do
took
something different now," or I'm gonna. There's nothing like that crossing your mind.
nope, 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 no. Not even once.
Wow.
Not even once. Thinking about going home to go work a 9 to 5 didn't cross my mind. If parole didn't mandate me
Not
to
even
have to
as you got
work,
closer, like,
never, never. I had other plans. Had HAD, not anymore. No, I worked in
so
a
you end up
warehouse.
having to work at a warehouse though, right?
Yeah,
Stacking boxes?
stacking boxes, filling out orders. It was one of my bro's friends that I met, and he hired me off the strength that my bro hired him when he came home. But he didn't know me. We didn't know each other.
And this is where you got into acting though.
Yeah, that's how I got into acting. Not stacking dildos. It was a sex shop I was working in.
What?
So I was mailing dildos and fake pussies and all type of sex toys out at the warehouse. You know, he got very big. Like
Wait, pause.
he was a distributor for all these sextoys.com, Adam and Eve, all these big companies bought all their product from him. Yeah, bro, all the merchandise came from him. And he used to drop shit for those companies. So when motherfuckers ordered something online from Adam and Eve would send him an email and I would pack the order and put Adam and Eve shipping label on it and boom, ship it out for them. That was what I was doing.
Wow. So you end up getting approached by one of your friends that tell you that there's a Kickstarter. They're looking for some people to act in
That
it.
they're financing it. Not that they said they want some tough Asian dudes tough Asian looking dudes in it. I mean, I still have a clip of it. That was like not the first thing I ever done, but from there was an agent and manager there that seen me perform, and they was like, "Yo, this dude like is really convincingly a badass. Like he looks very tough on screen." Like they didn't know about my past. They didn't know that I wasn't really acting, but they said they felt that vibe, you know. And then from there, uh, they got me a agent to sign me and a manager. Then took off from there. You could put a dress on a pig, it's still a fucking pig, you know? You could give me a great job and a great career, but if my mindset ain't right, I'm not gonna live right. I don't care how much money you have or how great your job is. If your mindset is not right, nothing good is gonna come from that. And unfortunately, my mindset wasn't right because I didn't learn nothing in my bid. I was still glorifying all the crazy shit I did in there and how I did this and did that. I didn't learn my lesson. So right away, I'm at a disadvantage because I felt I was the shit, you know? Always, all pride is always before the fall. There's always pride.
But the problem was that you were still hanging around a lot of people from your past during that time, right?
Uh, Not really so much, but I wasn't when I was on the street. Like I said, I was a little. I was nobody famous. I was just a kid. But throughout my incarceration, I used to have to rep twice as hard being Asian in the New York State Penitentiary. So a lot of my recognition and fame comes from the shit I did while I was locked up. And other dudes that got locked up and then went home, they were like, yo, who you was locked up with? Yo, I was with this crazy motherfucker Rich, Ghost Shadow dude. Yo, he was holding it down for the Asian dude. He was repping for us. So that's how my little claim to fame happened from how I was repping in prison, opposed like to what I did in the street. Even though what I did in the street was pretty wild and crazy, it was such a short span. It was such a short span, and out of sight, out of mind. But when dudes start coming home from jail talking about, yo, I was locked up with this guy, and so that's how. So when I came home, people that was or semi selling that lifestyle, that even though I didn't know them, gravitated towards me because of the stories they have heard from people that they looked up to.
So you start acting, right?
Mhm.
So you start acting, and like, what is your first roles? Is it the Mysteries of Laura
Yeah, yeah,
for
it was Mysteries of
2015?
yeah, Mysteries of Laura.
So you do 2 episodes for that, and then
Yeah,
you do 4 episodes for the streets, right?
yeah, for the streets. The streets was a pure passion
What
project.
was that experience like?
Which one? The first experience?
Yeah, the first experience, just in general, just now being an actor and everything. Like how are you feeling?
Oh, it felt great. Like they called me in for a wardrobe to measure my size, and I had my own dressing room at Silver Cup Studios. It was a different. It was like totally different from a life that it was nothing like what I expected. You know,
Hmm.
and then being able to work around like people I see on TV. It was good. It was a very good experience.
But like, were you like nervous or anything like that? Because this is a different field for you now. Like, this is something you haven't done before.
Not really, not really, because they just told me to be myself. Like all my roles, are like they're not gonna ask me to be a lawyer or a doctor or somebody's kind, gentle uncle. Like I always get casted in the same type of roles, which is nothing wrong with that. The only thing worse than being typecasted is not getting casted at all. So I don't care. Keep casting me as the bad guy. I don't care. You know.
So you were almost like playing yourself on on the screen, basically.
Well, I had to tone it down a little bit. I had to tone it down a little bit. 'Cause, the unadulterated version is not fit for TV.
Right, right, right.